Ruben Amorim was brought in to fix Manchester United, but the truth is not everyone is convinced about his results, his tactics, in air quotes, and his general playing style. But look, there is positives, there is negatives. But all in all, the squad that he has built and the squad that he's got rid of contrast two horizons that takes time. Fans and the media have been spectating, so to speak, and debating about his future and whether he has one due to the recent summer transfer window. But let's see how Amorim has actually transformed United. Or is it just more of the same that we very well know? So a bit of context. Amorim's had, 160 million plus spent on him. Some would say that's not been spent correctly, which I would agree with. Midfielders was a big one for me. We had a crash out against Grimsby, an unfortunate poor run against Grimsby Town. We dropped points against Fulham. It could have been 6 from 9. 6 points from 9. That points. And Amorim is already under scrutiny from the media, already calling for him. Amorim out, Amorim this, Amorim that. You already know the media headlines. But look, we showed character, we showed passion in that Burnley game. Winning 3-2 on the penalty, which was deserved. It's early days, but United still have that tact for grinding out results. Question is, can we do this consistently? Is it just going to be a consistent run of grinding out games at the last minutes? Or will it be more of a 3-0, 70th minute, take your key players off? We want the latter, but will we get the latter? It's all up for debate. But for me personally, the context of where we are, the Carabao Cup should be swept under the carpet and never spoken about again. But for the league itself, we're won. Like, the number one. It's positive, it's a start, and that's what we need that from Amorim with the squad. And with this set of players as to where we were last year, I think we are on a good path. We're on a path. It will be bumpy, it will be shaky, and this is just what we've got to deal with this season. The summer window was an opportunity for us to get the key players in. They wanted to rebuff the attack because we lacked goals last season, which is fair enough, but Amorim's system relies on midfielders for it to work. They sort differently, and that's just the wave we've got to go down for this season, and hope he just stays and doesn't get the sack in December or sooner or later, whenever. We just hope he doesn't get the sack. He loves his 3-4-2-1 or the 3-4-3 or the 3-4-3, depending on how you look at it. He'll never change that. He'll never change his style of playing no matter what the opposition is. We've seen it with Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. They play similar to us. They've got better players than us, especially Crystal Palace, in positions. Ideally, we need the players from Palace, your Wharton, your Munoz, Mitchell, and players like that to give us a real edge in the United attack, them player profiles. But then we're having to play players out of position. Example, Bruno being too deep, a natural born number 10, playing in the midfield, deeper. Well, is that suiting him? Not for me, no. He loves to be on the ball. He loves to be running rampage everywhere on that pitch, being everywhere, being involved. The conductor, the maestro. Ahmad, playing as a wing back when last season he played as a number 10, being creative. Him having to get used to that right wing back role for a young kid, especially when he's not strong enough and he's having to do that role by himself with no support on that right hand side. We needed another Dorgu ideally on that side, but Ahmad's having to holster that position and he's having to adapt with that. We've got Delo who's coming in and out of that squad. Defensive, some might say, I would agree with that. Ahmad more offensive but lacks that defensive quality. We're having to make up for lost players or players that we've not had before. Until that quality comes in, we have to be patient with this squad and patient with Amorim. However, his system, it does have positives. You think about the Sporting system, it pressed, it compressed, and it intensely trapped players in their own, somewhat, half. The midfield legends, the right wing back engines, pressing constantly to aggravate and intensely win that ball back, simply to speak. That's how Amorim loves to play, and we had this opportunity to do that this summer, but the board thought different and wanted to rebuff the attack because we lacked goals last season, despite leaking goals in through the net of our own keepers. He's still trying to build that identity in which patience is required. But will he see the end of the season? This is the other question. Will he see the end of the season? Will he see this out? Will he have the proper backing of the board to back him through ups and downs this season? Because there will be troubled roads ahead, especially if we don't win games. You think about Newcastle last season. They managed to gain 5th spot with 12 losses. Will we get 12 losses? You think we'll get more? You think we'll get less? Drop a comment below. For me, we're only playing once a week. It gives these players a break, and I hope we can just somewhat get a consistent head and mental fortitude against our opposition and teams, because coming back we've got City and Chelsea, and they're going to be tough games. So if we don't win them, it's going to look very, very slim for us. Amorim and the board is slowly rebuilding this squad from where it was last season. Think about the younger profile IDs. We're signing younger players, not giving them outrageous wages as we once were. So it goes to show that we are building something, and growing pains will be a part of that process. Like I said, we're on a path we hadn't had post Ten Hag. Ten Hag got sacked at Bayern Leverkusen. They fell out with him big time, by the way. Dropped that in there big time. They fell out with him. They put him to the fire. But this is Manchester United. So back to Amorim. He's building something. There is competition for places in which we hadn't had last season. For the past decade, if you think about it, you had Moyes, you had Van Gaal, you had Mourinho, you had Ole, you had Van Nistelrooy, you had Ralf Rangnick. Some of these players were always going to get guaranteed minutes, no matter what, no matter who we were playing. It's only now there's somewhat of a competition for places. Only now. It's taken us 10 years to get competition for places. Now that's down to the old regime, in which we won't talk about because that's old news. But we're on this new wave. We've got to ride it out as surfers wave, point break, so to speak. We've got to be positive, we've got to be patient. We've signed younger players. This is the new vision that but Ineos want to go down due to the debt, due to the Glazers. They need players so they can get a resale value, because currently all our money that we bring in revenue gets strung out to the debt repayments. So we need a little bit of patience on something. The harsh truth is that there will be setbacks, but there is that clear identity that we lacked. Our scouting has been very good if you think about what we've been passed on, but we haven't pulled the trigger on any of them. And then look where these certain players are, individual players, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, clubs to that extent. It will be a long way up. There will be war-torn paths, this one especially. There will be good weeks, there will be bad weeks, but we're on something. As vague as it might be, as transparent as it might be, there is a little bit of a path for us to walk down, and it will be very hard at times. An example is if we don't win against City and Chelsea, like I mentioned, it's going to be very murky waters. We've at least got to be, as bad it is, getting a point from each of them games and at least winning one of them, or if not both. That's the mentality that we've got to go in. We've got to be winning both, never mind drawing. Losing is out of the question. It's not even on paper. We cannot be losing these games back to back as well, back to back. Will these players be up for it in consecutive weeks? Because we know they're up for all these top 6 teams, but back to back with Amorim's questionable future on the line. I bet the media are loving this. So the harsh truth is Amorim hasn't fixed his squad overnight. It was always going to be a bit of a process, no matter what it was going to be. There was players that are still here that need to go. But has he shown you an encouragement, signs that he deserves to stay, signs that he is the one for the job, and more importantly, is he the right man for this job to take us all the way back to where we once was, the sleeping giant that needs to be awakened? Or do we need to be concerned that the board haven't backed him properly, and we could very well be over in the middle of October or the end of September? Our run of games have not been very kind to us, but some we've got to deal with, and that's just the questions that will be answered in due time. And that just poses the question as, should fans be concerned? Comment below what your thoughts are, and don't forget to like, subscribe for more United content. I'll catch you guys later.